Kristen's Kitchen Corner, where we have two cats that are meowing at the same time, a very hungry husband who's going, when's dinner ready? So let's get this party started so the cats can get attention and my husband can get fed. So today we're going to be making Cobra bean salad with hemp hearts. We're going to need, of course, Cobra beans. I got Cobra beans cooking right here. They're just finished up cooking. So we're going to cool those down. We got hemp hearts, which look like this. And it doesn't need to be cooked. This is the great thing. It has the almost a texture of, what was it? Not flaxseed, but wheat germ. But it doesn't taste like wheat germ. It has a very, very organic, vegetable-y, if that makes any sense, kind of flavor. We're going to need one red bell pepper. We're going to need a cucumber and a meow. We're going to need 2 garlic cloves and another meow. We're going to need half a white onion. Just add a whole bunch of meows to this and then you'll get the recipe down right. Celery sticks 4. And we're going to need rice vinegar. We're also going to need some capers. Not the whole thing. We're going to have artichoke hearts in it. We're also going to have yellow tomatoes, cherry tomatoes. We got some daikon, which is radish. We got cilantro. So let's get our beans cooling down. So I got my pot right here. I got my strainer. We're going to strain off the hot water. Beans smell so good. Okay, and a good way to tell whether they're done or not is when you bite into them, they don't go in half and they're not nutty. They're soft but not nutty. So when you bite in, if you bite into them in a half, like if they fall into 2 halves, that's not done. Because even when you squish them with your finger, they should squish in half and not sideways. I got some cold water over here. We're going to pour those beans right into the cold water. Excuse me. Move this hot water over here. Okay. Got a dirty pot. Excuse me. I have a little bit of I'm getting over I can't say a cold, but something that was making me have a runny nose. But that was only like 3 days of just coughing. And of course, I haven't been coughing until I start the video. That's the way it always works. So we got our celery. We're going to chop the tops off. Should have my little, chop the bottoms off. The reason I chop these off because they're woody and they don't have, they're more, when you get towards the end, the tops and the end usually are sour. We're going to rinse this off a little bit. There was a little bit of dirt still left on there, but that's fine. Just wash that off. Got my accent going there. I have no idea what that was. Cut these in half. And be careful because the fingers are very, very valuable. And then if you can, cut these in half again. What it is about my cats. Every time I get on the video, they act like they're being neglected to. Like I haven't seen them in years. That's just the way it is. So chop these in half, and we're gonna mince these. Not small. See what I'm doing here? You want this to go through the whole dish. basically you do this same thing to the bell pepper and the onion. Add a few more meows in there. See, it's meows. It's the meowing what makes the dish. I don't know what it is, but I think tonight's a full moon. Everything's going down. Okay, so we're just gonna, got a bowl here. Gonna swipe that right into the bowl. Oh, look at that, only one piece. Oh, and I dropped it anyway, okay. Dropped my first piece of food, so we got half of cucumbers. And I couldn't find my vegetable peeler, so we're gonna do it the old-fashioned way. A little bit longer, but don't want that to be in there, because that is sour. And you know, with my videos, if you feel like you need a high speed through them, go for it. If you already know how to do this, it's just there's a lot of people out there that are still learning, and when you're cooking for the first time and you don't know what you're doing, it can be a real, I mean, it's like physics. It's like, I think of physics, I think of calculus, you know, I haven't done it, and I have no idea where to start. That's kind of like what cooking is when people start out for the first time, because, you know, you see everything on TV and you think, oh wow, it's so fast, it's so easy, and then you get in the kitchen and you realize, holy moly, there's more to it. And I think a lot of people they watch the TV shows and they think, well, I can do that. Because it doesn't show any of the details. I show the details. That's what's different about my show. I want to show you the in-between scenes. Like I said before, I don't have anyone to back me up. This is me cooking in real time. Okay, cut that in half. Now, you can leave the seeds in. You can take the seeds out. If you have a melon scoop the seeds out. If you don't like the seeds, I leave the seeds in. Cut this in half. And if you can, cut it in half again. So now we got, well, here we go. Is that cut different? No, it's not a cut. That was weird. 4 equal parts. I guess I'll cut that in half again. It's a really big piece. Okay, there we go. Okay, so just like the celery, mince it. And I lost one piece again, but this time it hit the floor. So that's part of cooking. If you're not dropping something on the floor, you're not cooking. Oh, there we go again. Okay, let's get that red bell pepper. Cut the top off. Take the seeds out. Don't throw this away. Just break it off. And cut that in half. Cut the bottom off. Cut the bottom off. And we're going to just dice those. Now see how I have it like that, can hold it? It goes flat like that. Flatten it out. So 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. And you don't have to count. And if you don't like the ribs in the red bell pepper, leave them out. I leave them in. I just, it's not that big of a deal. So turn them all sideways like the celery sticks and the cucumber, and just do the best you can. There's no rhyme or reason. And watch the fingers. Okay, there we go again. Okay, now we're going to take this. Let's put this into the bowl. I'm going to do the old hand method. Every time I do this, I think of the part in Ratatouille. You cannot be mummy! So every time I do that, that's the first thing that comes to mind. But I can't be mommy because I don't have kids. Okay, I have 2 cats. Let's just chop this up randomly. This is random chopping. I got a little bit of a dull knife. Sharpen it here. So no rhyme or reason, just chop, chop it, chop, chop, chop. Okay. Put that in. It's a little bit bigger pieces, that's fine. If you need to have everything perfectly uniform, you can chop them up exactly. Okay, now let's get the onion out. And this is the onion that had its debut in my burrito blog. And I did not make a video for that. That's just a recipe that's on my not YouTube, my blogger site. And there's a link. Excuse me. Oh gosh. Intermission. Excuse me. Okay, let's get the handy dandy knife out that you can only use for tomatoes and onions. Now, if you don't want to use the whole onion, well, if you don't want to use half of the onion, the whole thing, you can quarter this again and then cut up that. And I think that's what I'm going to do, because these white onions for some reason have been really strong lately. So we're going to use this in either soup or another salad concoction or invention. So now we have half of an onion that's picking up the red bell pepper on the cutting board. So let's cut this. This knife is good for cutting into, but it's not good for chopping, because all the little serrated edges don't, when you go like this on the cutting board, there's still holes in between, so you're not really chopping. This is more just cutting into. So we're going to get the other knife, and this is what I mean by chopping. Yeah, there we go. And just get those as small as possible. And yes, I am balancing the cutting board on the stove top. And this recipe, you can try out any other kind of beans you want. If you have another bean that you think is good for salads, you can replace the Cobra beans with that. There's nothing that says that this recipe can't be changed a little bit. Okay, so we're going to stick that in. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to take our garlic, and we're going to take, this is a nutmeg grater, and we're going to be right back.